This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's number one show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Ladies and gentlemen, the New York Knicks had a successful game last night versus the Indiana Pacers. And I'm going to tell you what, they debuted a new look offense. And I don't know if it is so much a new scheme, but I guess it's just the new players and a new basketball IQ that they are now putting on the floor. But it's a new look offense, and it looked fresh. It looked good. It looked crisp. And this is just the first preseason game. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk a little bit about that offense today. We're going to break down some video and show you where the Knicks actually implemented some of those principles that Tom Thibodeau has up on the wall at the Westchester Training Facility. All right, so let's get with it. I got Andy and I got Steph here. We're going to have a good conversation, man. Andy, Steph, good afternoon. How are you doing? Well, good evening to you, Andy, but good afternoon to you, Steph.
Right.
Good evening, almost good night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good evening to you guys.
And Andy, you know, I want to start with you because, I'm sorry, Steph, I didn't even get a chance for you to say hi.
Oh, no. It's everything is good. I'm excited about what I saw yesterday. Salute to you, Andy, the chat, and looking forward to getting into it.
Yeah. Andy, we didn't get a chance to hear from you last night as far as what you thought about the game. So I want to get your take on the game. We all had a chance to sleep on it, maybe calm down from the hysteria of the Knicks scoring 125 points and 63 points by halftime and all that kind of stuff. You know, maybe we got our senses back. Maybe not. Probably not. But what did you think about the game last night?
Listen, Sim. First thing, I was really happy that we got that W. For me, it's really important that there's no turmoil because of 1, 2, 3 bad games, and that in New York everything gets exaggerated. On the good side and on the bad side. So I rather see us getting that W in the first game, so we can have a little bit of letdown in the future. We got that credit built already, and listen, the team scored 125 points. We rarely saw that last season, so we see that the potential is there. On the flip side, we saw the Pacers. They in the second half they basically rolled out the bench squad. So the game would probably be closer if if it was a season game. But I was really happy about how the Knicks played. We were on top basically from the first minutes of the game. Only thing that bothered me, we were up around 20, like 6 minutes to go.
Right.
And we still saw, like D Rose in the rotation. I understand guys like quickly, like Obi and those young guys. Those guys should be playing those minutes. Because someone's gonna call that garbage time, and they already got the rotation minutes, secure. But those guys, I'm not afraid they're gonna get injured or whatever. But a guy like D Rose, like Kemba, even Randall, those guys, I would rather keep him safe and on the bench. But I understand also Tibbs' tactics that he really wants to get, hit the ground rolling on game day number 1. So I understand why we play, over 20 minutes, for these guys.
Yeah, and at this point, we had a big thing last night about it, right? Because Isaiah, felt the same way, and Isaiah was, just going crazy about it. I've succumbed to Tom Thibodeau. I've just succumbed to it. Like, okay, you know what? This is what Tom Thibodeau is going to do, and he's not going to change it. So I've decided I'm not even going to complain or argue about it. I'm going to let Tom Thibodeau do Tom Thibodeau, especially after last year. You know what I mean? Especially after last year. You know, the only thing I can do is trust that Tom Thibodeau has the pulse of the players and understands how they feel, and he's talking to the players, and they're saying to him, telling him how they feel, and if they feel good enough to go, you know, then they're going. I think guys like D Rose probably understand their situation. You know, he's been in the league long enough, so you know, I'm trying as much as I can to just trust Tibbs in that aspect. Now, you know,
Yeah.
what do you think, Steph?
I agree. I mean, I would have liked to had. I mean, I see it both ways. But yeah, I think Derrick Rose was in there like late in the third quarter or something like that. But I'm with you, Sam. Tibbs is Tibbs, and the one thing he's been is consistent. He's playing this
He's been
from the,
consistent.
I mean, from the jump. The rotation is in full effect. In the first preseason game, Grimes, Deuce, Knox, all of them guys, if they had any hopes, he put that to rest. That
Yeah.
they are not in the, they are not going to be in the rotational. They're situational from the start, and that's just Tibbs. If he's one thing, he's consistent.
He's consistent, man, and guys know exactly where they stand.
Yep.
You know, there's no second guessing it. You know where you stand. That's it. And if you're situational, I'm pretty sure he tells you right straight from training camp, I'm gonna give you a shot, but right now, I consider you situational. You know what I mean? You got to prove me wrong.
Right.
You know, just you know, taking no shorts with the guys, and I think that's the best way for a coach to be. Whether or not you agree with his philosophy,
Right.
I think the best thing for him to do with the players is to be straight up, be honest, let them know where they stand, and if you're not gonna play, you're not gonna play. You know what to expect night in and night out, and you know to expect not to touch the floor. You know what I mean? Unless something really, really happens.
Right. And if you're not playing in the preseason game, then you're really not playing.
For
So
real.
then you gotta hope that Adam Silver is gonna get that tournament in the season. So
Yeah,
maybe
right.
you can get minutes there.
Exactly. For real. But I do want to talk about. I want to talk about the offense. Break it down a little bit, and I'm going to begin by just looking at the first quarter. I'm going to bring over the box score from the first quarter, and what we see on the screen here is the Knicks box score. All right, and in the first quarter, the Knicks they shot 46.5% from the field. They took 37 shots. All right. Hold up. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Let me get that. Let me change what I just said. All right. The Knicks shot 53.8% from the field in the first quarter. They shot 26 shots, and 11 of those shots were threes. And they shot 36.4% from the field, from the three-point line in the first quarter. All right. They had 14 rebounds. They had 8 assists, 2 steals. RJ Barrett played 7 minutes in the first quarter. Julius Randle played 9 minutes in the first quarter. Taj Gibson played 8 minutes in the first quarter. Evan Fournier played 9 minutes. Kemba Walker played 7 minutes in the first quarter. All right, Derrick Rose played 4 minutes and 42 seconds. Alec Burks played 4 minutes and 42 seconds. Jericho Sims 3 minutes and 59 seconds. Obi Toppin played 2 minutes and 40 seconds. And Emmanuel Quickly played 2 minutes and 40 seconds in that first quarter. The Knicks scored 36 points. They held the Pacers to 26 points in that first quarter. And the reason why I'm focusing in on the first quarter is because to me, that's the best determinant of what the Knicks might look like. Yeah, what we might see from this team, because they played against the Pacers starters and rotational players. The Knicks had their starters and rotational players in the game. And I think, this might be the closest that you, at least right now, that you're going to see
Mhm.
in the regular season. So from that first quarter, what did you take or what do you get from that first quarter, Steph? I'll start with you.
Pace and threes. I know he had pace on the board, but I wasn't convinced. I wanted to see it, and definitely we are moving the ball up the court and getting into our sets quickly, and getting off some easy shots if they're there as well, and also the threes. And other than quickly a few times, I thought they came within the flow of the offense as well. So I think that bodes well for us that we don't have to change much to get up more shots.
That's true. That's true. And the pace is something that was really, really apparent for me.
Yeah.
Andy, what about you?
Yeah, I totally agree with you guys. And about the threes, we had 11 out of 26 shots, right? So that's a little bit less than 50% of the shots. But when I was watching, I remembered those the pinpoints that Tibbs had on the gym on the wall, and I was uh, like I felt like they are really trying to put up these threes, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
it was something that I was shocked that it looked like they're really thinking about putting them up. And I was like, and then as the game progressed, it was less like catching my eye. But at the beginning, I was like, these guys took a three, RJ, Fournier, Kemba, and I was like, take it easy, guys. Take it easy. They're gonna fall. Just wait up for them. And I was like, but then I'm looking at the clock, and it's like we're 4 minutes in. So if you got to go to 10, next couple of possessions got to be threes. So I was thinking like, yeah, I understood them, and I think at the beginning of the season, basically, like at least maybe first 10, 20 games, they're gonna be thinking about it to try to be on pace to get that 37 40 mark
Yeah.
that D Rose was talking about in that interview.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that they will be thinking that they at least need to put up a three every now and then.
Right.
So it's
I
going to be in the back of their minds.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I think from the beginning they might be trying to force the issue just a little bit until it becomes natural.
Right.
Right? And for us fans, it may look like they're really forcing the issue until it becomes just natural and second nature, and we're used to the volume of threes that they're throwing up. Now,
Yeah, and I think Sim, and I
yeah,
sorry, Sim, I'm gonna just cut you off, but I think it's because we didn't take that many last season. That's why us seeing them taking
Right.
almost every second possession at three. It was like we never saw this. What are you
right,
what are you doing?
Right.
But it's like you said. It's probably gonna be less and less apparent. As many games as we're deep in the season. So
yeah. And
Yeah.
last night they ended up taking 37 threes, and
the new
still,
minimum.
the Pacers took 44.
Yeah.
Wow.
44. The Pacers took 44 threes last night. The Pacers were 15 for 44 for 34%, and the Knicks were 11 for 37 for 29.7%. You know, I don't know if, I don't think Tom Thibodeau and the coaching staff cares how many other threes the opposing team took. So I don't think they're going to be trying to keep pace. But my question is this. The Golden State Warriors the other night took, what was it, 69 threes or something like that? Is that what I heard? Something crazy like that? 69
Yeah.
threes?
Yeah. That's what I heard too.
If the entire league increases the amount of threes that they take this season, so now the average is 40 threes a game, and the Knicks are shooting 37 threes, even though they've increased the amount of threes that they're taking per game. Does it do anything if the entire league is now shooting more this season?
That's a good point. I mean, we would have to be super duper efficient,
Yeah,
um, for it to make a difference. That's a good point.
yeah. I just wonder because when you look at the Indiana Pacers last night, if they shot the same exact percentage as the Knicks, they still would have made more threes than the Knicks because they took 44 threes. So even if they shot 29.7%, they still make, I guess, at least one more three than us or something like that. One or two more threes than we do.
Right.
So we'll see how this goes. And it's an experiment that, I don't know if it's an experiment. For Tom Thibodeau, maybe it's an experiment. I don't think it's one that's going to go easy with him. He may be pulling his hair out a little bit every once in a while, because he's a player, not a player, a coach that really does like control, it seems like, and
Did you hear him last night, Sam? He was screaming, "Move,
yeah,
move,
yeah,
move."
that's right. Move. Exactly. That's one of his principles. Move without the ball, move without the ball. And, we've seen the Knicks doing it. And of course, it's going to take some time throughout the season, for it to become second nature. But I think we have
Right.
guys where it's already second nature for them to move without the basketball. And I think we're going to see a really fun style of basketball this year. So what I want to do, and I'm going to share my screen so that you all can see what I'm doing here, is I want to break down some of the principles that the offensive principles that Tom Thibodeau has in the gym, and then look at where, some of the areas in some plays where we actually seen this happen. All right. And it happened with more than just the plays that I'm going to spotlight right now, but these are just a few that I picked out. So first, let's take a look at the principles. And don't worry about this thing that says the Knicks wave Luka Vildoza. Don't worry about that right there. I'll take that off the screen. I forgot to take it off. Their offensive must: pace and sprint, right? And we've seen that. Play with pace. You got space. Make sure that you have space on the floor. Play with the pass. Attack the rim reads. Move without the basketball. And, of course, you need offensive execution. Threes is always there. And then you got offensive rebounding. And Tom Thibodeau was not happy about the offensive rebounding. He talked about it last night. He wants to see the Knicks hit those boards a little bit better. So what I want to do now, though, is I want to take a look at some of these principles during the game. And the first one I'm going to take a look at is playing with pace. All right? Because I think the Knicks played with good pace last night, and it's something that we hadn't always seen, especially last year. All right, so we're going to begin with this clip that I have here. Let me get it up on the screen. All right, it's 52 to 45 at this point in the game. The Knicks are up. Okay, and Kemba Walker has the ball, ready to advance it up the floor. And I think that during this play, the Pacers are calling out zone. It looks to me like they try to run a little bit of 2-3 zone here, and the Knicks busted open really, really fast. All right, and it has to do with pace. So I'm going to play it once, then I'll rewind it and break it down. So let's just take a look at this play right here. Okay, Kemba Walker is jogging the ball up the floor, quickly moves it to Fournier to Gibson, and Gibson finds Julius Randle coming down the lane for the dunk. All right, and right from the beginning, to me, because of the pace of play in this game, on this play, the Pacers never really got a chance to set up their 2-3 zone. All right, so I'm going to let it go, and then I'll stop it at a certain point where we can see, okay, right here, you can see where it was meant to be a 2-3 zone. Let me get my laser pointer up here. You can see, here, and then you got three guys below here. Meant to be a 2-3 zone. Julius Randle flashed right to the center quickly. A quick pass, and he's in for the easy dunk. Right? Kemba Walker noticed it. He got the ball up the floor quick. He didn't waste any time getting the ball up the floor. Right? If I bring it back here, he lets that ball go just over half court. and the ball moves quick, and you see a quick dunk, right? Right there, just playing with pace. And this is something that we did not do last year. Is play with the kind of pace that could beat a zone up the floor. And I think a lot of times the zone gave us so much trouble because we did not play with that kind of pace. I start with you, Steph. Do you see the same thing there, or do you see the same thing and anything else? Think you're muted, Steph.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I see it in this play, and I saw it multiple times yesterday, because this is the thing. A lot of people think pace is just how quick is transition baskets, fast break baskets, and that's part of it, playing with pace. But another part of it is bringing the ball up the court quickly
Right.
so that you have more time in the shot clock to run your half court offense. Another thing with pace is moving the ball quickly so you're not holding the ball, right? So there's movement, there's cutters, you're passing the ball quickly. All of that is pace, right? It leads to more passes during that shot clock. And then also the defense now has to move because you're passing the ball from side to side and you're not stagnant, holding it, letting the defense reset. So I think it's gonna help us tremendously on a lot of levels.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Andy, anything you want to add there?
Yeah, no, listen, last year, Alfred, till he got through the half court and made the first pass, it was like 17, 18 seconds left on the clock. No, Kemba got rid of the ball when it was like 20 seconds on the clock, right?
Exactly.
And the pass was basically
Correct.
no, so that's a 2 second difference. But those 2 seconds, you got to remember that they're off the top of the clock. That means there's 2 3 seconds less for the defense to set up, and that's really important because the Pacers defense has to run back on the defensive end and get that zone set up and really check where's the ball, what's the situation going to be, which way they're going to go with it, and stuff like that. And those 2 3 seconds, that's instead of a trot back on defense, that's a sprint back on
Right.
defense.
Right.
So that's
Yeah.
really important.
And just playing with that pace just changes so much. And it doesn't have to be an all out, going 800 miles per hour up the floor.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? And just like you said, Andy, the quick pass up the floor. He
Right.
let the ball go out of his hands with 20 seconds on the clock. Without
Right.
thinking about, okay, let me see what's happening out here. Let me just move that basketball and get it going. So, yeah, that pace means a lot when you're talking about getting shots up and breaking down defenses. The next thing I want to look at is floor spacing. Right? I thought the Knicks did a pretty good job of spacing the floor last night. Right? And you can see in this clip right here, right on the outset, you see Alec Burks in the corner. You see how much space between Alec Burks and Derrick Rose, and then between Rose and Quickly, and then you got Obi Toppin in this other corner. And then you got Jericho Sims, he's in the dunker spot. Right? But with all this space, look at the lanes that are open.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's just lanes open all over the place. You have a lane here. You have a lane here if you needed to take it. If Obi had the ball, he'd have a lane here. There's lanes open all over the place for penetration.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this is playing with space. I'm sorry, I was about to say pace. Playing with space. And it gives you the options to make moves. And here we go. You see what happens. The ball swings quickly, holds it a little bit long, gets it back to Rose. He hits one of those lanes, gets it out to Alec Burks for an open shot. And the reason why Rose could get in that lane and get a clean pass off is because of the spacing of that play. All because of the spacing of the play. Whoever the defender is, number 3, had no choice but to hang back off of Alec Burks.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And because he laid back off of Alec Burks, Burks was able to get an easy shot, clean
Yeah,
look at the basket,
and Rose was ready. He was basically
ready to
clapping
go.
his hands because quickly was dribbling too much.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's something right there. Like you said, quickly was dribbling a lot. And Rose is out there to say, hey, we don't want to dribble a lot. We
Right.
want the ball to move. Right? We want the ball to move so we can play with the pass. And that's another one of the principles that Tom Thibodeau has on the board. Play with the pass. Right? Play with the pass. And you're going to see in this clip here how playing with the pass really does make the offense move. And when you talk about a new look offense, just watch the clip. All right. And you'll see everybody is moving on the pass of the ball. The pass of the ball initiates or dictates when and where people are going to move. Right. And the ball is flying around. And it doesn't have to touch the floor too many times. All right, in this clip here, you see Kemba Walker gets it to RJ. RJ comes off the screen from Sims, gets it back to Walker off a double team. Walker one dribble and a dunk to Jericho Sims. And when you bring this back, I'll bring it back a little bit. All right, and let me hit play. Boom. And off of that pass, you're seeing Kemba Walker now. You're seeing Kemba Walker come around here. Right? RJ is looking for the screen. And off of this, you're seeing that Julius Randle and Evan Fournier are watching the ball, ready to make a move off of the pass or with whatever happens with the basketball. Right? And so Julius sets, and it's not really a screen because there's not a defender there in front of Evan Fournier, right? Because they're playing the paint. But Evan Fournier recognizes, and this is another thing that you didn't see that much this last year. Evan Fournier recognizes that there's a double team on RJ right here. He's coming up so he can help. Sometimes last year you would have people hanging back here, maybe screaming for the basketball. And even Jericho Sims is recognizing, hey, there's something here. He's ready to pop to this spot right there. You can see it. He's ready to pop to the spot there. Right? You know, people know where they're going and they know what they're doing and they're moving on the flight of the basketball. Instead, he stays because he sees Kemba got the ball and bam, playing with the pass. Ladies and gentlemen, playing with the pass. Any thoughts or comments on that?
Um, I mean, I would say that, part of the reason there's so much space is because you have to respect the shooters.
Right.
That's opening it up for us as well. Like you can't just stay in the key on those shooters. You have to be leaning in that, in that direction. Um, but yeah, I mean, these guys know how to play basketball. Their IQ is very high. Like even Sims, he was, heading in that direction to go to the free throw line. To get the ball when he saw the double team on RJ. So when you got high IQ players, even though you're going through your sets, it's basically a pro read. You just read the defense, see what the defense is doing, and you run your plays off of that. So the offense, I'm very happy. It's going to be very dynamic this season, like I wanted it to be.
Yeah, it's going to be dynamic and fun to watch, I think. I think it's going to be really fun to watch.
Yeah.
This next clip that I'm going to bring up is just giving you an example of how the Knicks can attack the glass and read the rim and hit the rim. Right now, you've seen it. You kind of still seen it there from Kemba Walker to Jericho Sims. Now, Kemba didn't get all the way to the rim on the play. He did penetrate the lane, but because he drew so much attention, he was able to then find Jericho Sims, who did, have a nice rim read. We'll take a look at this play. I think this is from the first quarter. All right. And you see already on this play that Julius Randle has the ball. And, he's looking to see, okay, He's seeing what's happening. Kemba Walker's getting ready to cut off of him, and let's go ahead and let the play go, and we'll get it there. All right, you see him point to RJ to come get the basketball. I don't know if you guys realize that, and this is something that I think we're gonna see a lot with this team. I'll bring it back just a little bit, and if you watch Julius Randle, you'll see him point to RJ to come get the basketball. All right, so if you watch Julius Randle, he points to RJ to come get it. Now RJ comes up, he gets the basketball, attacks the rim, and he finds Taj Gibson making the right rim read. Play one more time. RJ comes to get the basketball off a couple screens, attacks, and Taj Gibson makes a good rim read. And that's why Tom Thibodeau really does like Taj Gibson, right? Because he makes all the right reads and makes all the right plays all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's always making the right rim reads. He's always making the right plays. And young guys like Mitchell Robinson and Jericho Sims can really learn from Taj Gibson and the way that he makes plays towards the rim. And attacking that rim in that manner is always going to normally result in something positive. You're going to get a layup like Taj Gibson did, or you're going to get fouled and go to the basket.
Yeah. And Sam, after watching Taj, he's just the best player if those two guys can't play. I mean, I know we're saying he's 36 years old. He shouldn't be getting these minutes, but he looked strong out there. I mean, he had a 3, he had a 2. He makes the right reads. He makes good screens. He's just, Noel and what's his name? Mitch. What's his name? Oh, if Mitch can't go, Noel, Taj is just the best option right now. I think Sims played okay, but you could tell he still needs a little more. He needs a little more seasoning, and with Tibbs wanting to hit the ground running, I'm not sure he's going to start Sims.
Yeah. Now, and yesterday, during the pregame, I was like, "Oh, Jericho Sims might start. He should start him."
Yeah, me too.
And I wasn't looking at him to start. Like, if both Nerlens Noel and Mitch is out, I knew he wasn't going to start during the season. I just felt it was a good time to say, "Hey, let him get his feet wet." You know what I mean? But I mean, clearly Tom Thibodeau is in mid-season form. You know what I mean? He's in mid-season form already. He's not having it. Andy, any thoughts on that? The Knicks making rim reads. And I think those rim reads are going to get even better when you have Mitchell Robinson back.
Yeah, Mitch is gonna open up the court vertically, so it's gonna be way more easier for the point guards or the ball handlers to get him the ball. But like Steph mentioned before, everything is better and easier to play on offense because of the spacing. Those couple of 2 feet on the left, 2 feet on the right, that makes 4 or 5 feet more room to get that cut, to get to play that pick and roll in the paint and stuff like that. So having those options on offense is way easier to create in any kind of offense you want. So
Right.
Yeah, and then guys just know how to move and where to move without the basketball on this team right now. And you're going to see in the clip coming up, this was one of my favorite plays of the game. This is when Evan Fournier, Derrick Rose finds Evan Fournier going back door. And there's not much to really break down here besides a good basketball play and recognizing that my guy is overplaying, so I'm going to go back door. Right. You see Derrick Rose comes off Jericho Sims' screen. The guy was caught looking, and Evan Fournier takes him back door. Right. I mean, that's just really good. That's just good basketball, right? Let me try to bring it back a little bit. That's just really good basketball, and you can see right here. Right here. Evan Fournier sees this already. He knows he's going to go back door. Look where this guy is standing. Evan Fournier's feet. His feet are already behind the defender. So I'm pretty sure Fournier knows, I'm going back door all day on
Yeah.
this guy, and Derrick Rose might even see it.
And Sim Fournier was, I bet you, he was just thinking for RG to get out of the way with
Yep,
his defender because he would
exactly.
be like running all on the back of Miles Turner down there. So
Right. And RJ did just that. RJ went baseline, said, let me get out the way and balance the floor. Right? That's just good basketball right there. Let me get out the way and balance the floor. That's moving without the basketball. And then, Evan Fournier makes that cut. Easy layup. And that's just good basketball IQ stuff. And we didn't have
Right.
that all the time last year. At all.
Right.
At
Right.
all.
We left a lot of points on the board for sure.
Yeah, left a lot of points on the board due to that. And then transition. I thought we did a good job getting out in transition. We definitely didn't have this last year. And guys are looking to get the ball out early and quick. And you'll see here, right off a rebound, Julius gets it to Kemba, and Kemba's looking up to find Taj on the break. Quick and easy, right? And then you got Obi. He's looking to run as soon as he gets the ball, and he's going coast to coast handling it. I mean, that's just beautiful. Again, Obi one more time. And what I like about this here, I want to bring this back a little bit. You watch Obi, and I'm going to be watching for this all season long, right? He comes up and he can test the shot, right? Now, trusting that he's got guys back there that's going to rebound the basketball, he leaks out. He's not coming back to rebound. He's leaking out. And then with him leaking out, he's already down the court. And believe it or not, that's going to help our rebounding, in my opinion. If you got guys like that leaking out, all of a sudden the defenders are like, or offensive players, whoever it is, they're like, we can't go to the offensive glass. We know they're leaking out. So we got to start turning around to get back. That's going to put pressure on the opposing team.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, all of these things that we seen last night, I just thought was it was great to see. It happened all game long, and these are the principles that Tom Thibodeau has been putting into these guys. The way that he wants them to play basketball. Maybe they didn't have the personnel to do it last year, but they definitely have the personnel to do it this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah. No doubt about it. And the thing about it also, the rookies are better. Well, I don't second year players. Obi and Quick. So that makes that second unit, which was a strength of ours last year, even better.
yeah,
Right? Because we're bringing the same guys back, and those guys are better. So it's gonna be, it's gonna be good for us. I mean, the defense I thought was okay. It wasn't as bad as I thought it, would be, but we got some things that we need to shore up on that end, though.
yeah. So what did you see from the defense last night, Steph?
I think, well, the hustle was there, the scrambling was there. So if we're not as good a defensive team, it's not going to be from lack of effort. Like these guys were scrambling around, they were engaged, they were, doing their best. I think what I saw is that Kemba is just small. He's just small. I don't even think it's about his effort. I don't think it's about, anything like that. He's just small. And so I just saw a few times he just got picked out of the play like in a big way. I mean, most we do get picked out. Most guys get picked out, but there was a few plays where um it just really looked bad. And RJ, I know we want him to be our defensive stopper. I'm not sure. That's He may grow into that, but I didn't see a lot of it yesterday. That's going to take some work as well.
Yeah. There was a play from RJ last night that I just didn't want to rain on the parade. I wanted to be cool,
Right,
but
right,
but
right,
but I seen another backdoor cut on RJ. Basically the same play that we just saw from Evan Fournier, where the defender was up a little bit too high and Fournier was allowed to go back door. RJ did the same exact thing. And I'm like, he does this all the time. You know what I mean? He
And
gives it up.
even worse, I would say,
Yeah,
Sim, because that defender of RJ cut from the 45-degree angle.
exactly.
I remember that's even worse because on the baseline you can sometimes like once a season, twice a season, you can just forget that guy. But from the 45-degree angle,
Yeah,
it's like you gotta see him. It's
yeah.
like he can't sneak up on you like on on the 3-point line. So that was crazy. I remember, and I already posted in the chat, in the Twitter chat that we have, and I was like, I'm gonna be the first one that's gonna be nagging when we got the W, basically. But
Right,
Right,
right, right.
right. I mean, hopefully, listen, RJ's young, so hopefully he'll get it at some point. He'll see it. I'm pretty sure, and I'm pretty positive the coaching staff has pointed it out to him. You know what I mean? So I'm pretty sure they'll see it and help him correct it. But I am concerned and want to make sure that we're going to be able to have a strong defensive team as well. I just can't picture us. I can't see us or can't be satisfied with us improving the offense, but taking such a drop defensively
Right,
that
right.
we're no, you know, it negates what we've been able to do offensively. You know what I mean? So we've got to be able to maintain ourselves defensively. For me to be happy with it, I've got to see
Yeah.
us maintaining it defensively as well. I see Evergreen in the chat, and we already know what Evergreen's about to say. He's gonna say he predicted the Knicks going to the championship, and that last night was the beginning of it all. Am I right, Evergreen?
Sim, don't steal my thunder, baby. Don't steal my thunder. You know what it is. Knicks winning the championship. Do not steal my thunder. I was exceptionally happy yesterday. Really, what I was scared of was Julius Randle losing, his partner in crime with the 2-man game that he lost in Reggie Bullock. But man, there was a few plays that were like back and forth pity pat passes between him and Evan Fournier that I was like, wow. The
Yeah,
fact that Fournier is putting the ball on the floor, this right here changes everything with spacing. Because even if you look at the other three guys on the court, they literally just were standing there wide open, not doing anything, waiting for the ball to come to them if need be. And still between Julius Randle on a broken motion play just between him and Fournier were able to make something happen. And I'm like, man, if only Reggie Bullock could have put the ball on the floor, maybe some of the series we had with Atlanta might have looked a little bit different. So, that's just the start of it. That's just the start of it. I'm very anxious to wait until Mitchell Robinson gets back. And we already know what Nerlens Noel gives us. So, bro, we're winning the championship this year. It's that simple. It's that simple.
you're gonna catch heat all season long
Nothing
for
else to
saying
say,
that, right?
guys.
You know that you're gonna catch heat all season long. For your prediction that the Knicks are winning the championship. You already know
I'm
that.
cool with that.
Okay. All right.
I got the hater blockers on, Sim. I got the hater blockers on. So,
Okay.
I can't see them anyway. It's a gloomy day outside, and I'm still wearing shades as I'm driving.
All
So
right.
whatever.
All
What are you
right.
gonna do?
Okay. Well, we'll see what the
Sue
Knicks
me.
gonna do. It's still a long season. We still got a long ways to go. But we see what the Knicks are gonna do. I did like seeing Evan Fournier and Julius Randle play that 2-man game. It looked good. It looked natural. Didn't look like anything was forced. And the passes were quick. They weren't stopping and thinking about it. It was just like boom, I don't have it. Boom, I don't have it. Let's make it work. There's a lot of things that to me look like are coming natural to this team on the offensive side of the floor. And that's very impressive, I think, for not having a lot of time to work together. I want to listen to R.J. Barrett. Didn't get a chance to listen to R.J. Barrett last night, so I want to hear R.J. Barrett and what he's talking about after the game. Because he talks a little bit about the continuity of the team and the spacing on the floor and those type of things. Ladies and gentlemen, this is R.J. Barrett. Let's take a listen in.
They're amazing. It's good, have those guys out there. Just, I don't know, the way we're moving the ball. and had many different threats out there. It was really good. It was really good, and it was really fun to play in.
Things looked simple and easy. You guys were all making the right decisions. Everything seemed to flow. How would you describe the comfort level that already seemingly exists this early?
I mean, those guys, it makes basketball easy. They could really play. Great veterans that are just, they know the game so well. And then, our bench unit, they move that ball so well and play together, and they're dangerous too. So, we're a very deep team.
You're a new student of the game. What are you learning so far from Kemba and everything on the team?
Just their approach. I've always watched them growing up, and I love how, Evan, he's from France, so he grew up, playing a different type of basketball just like me. So it's good to have, another guy like that out there.
RJ, you were looking very comfortable putting up those catch-and-shoot threes all night. Obviously, you honed your skill in order to get there, but just from a comfort side, how comfortable are you putting those up now at a high level, and what has that journey been like for you getting to that point?
I mean, guys are making plays. Guys are driving, and the defense is collapsing. I got to be able to knock them down. And comfortability, I work on it every day. So, if it's open, if it's the right shot, I'm shooting it.
Tibbs talked about having you back in the gym.
Oh yeah.
Why do you like those night runs?
Man, I don't know. It's always a routine for me, especially the night before the game. I try to go in most every night, but definitely the night before the games, I'm always in there, just kind of something that at Duke we'd always have a meeting the night before, and it's just kind of just gets you locked in and then ready for the game.
You have somebody consistently who rebounds with you when you go in at night, or is it?
Man, our video guys are there all day, all night, whenever you need them, man. And shoot, even Tibbs. Like, I was there shooting at like 9:30 last night. Tibbs is still there, So, our staff, we got workers over here.
What's that like for you when you look around and the place is empty and it's 10 p.m.?
Nah, man. It's it's great. I love it here in New York.
What are some of the messages you think Tibbs would give you guys when you look at the film defensively? He said he had to call timeouts.
Oh yeah, there's it's a bunch of things. Guys' first time playing in a while. First wins and all that is in the factor, but it's a Tom Thibodeau coach team, so defense won't be a problem.
RJ, there are obviously still doubters out there, but you guys, like the GM survey today didn't have you guys.
Yeah.
No GM picked you guys in the top 7. Does the kind of the work ethic you're talking about from last year to this year kind of give you confidence that you'll exceed expectations again?
As you know, I'm used to it. Happens all the time, and I don't really care. All I could do is just go out and improve, and all we could do as a team is just play together and get wins. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what any other GMs think, what anybody thinks. Just what we think, what work ethic that we have, and then how it translates on the court.
RJ, last summer you said you were working out 3 times a day, 2 to 3 times a day. Can you take me inside this past summer? Were you doing that again 2-3 times a day? And what was kind of your routine?
Man, it was different. It was different for me just playing the Team Canada after the playoffs. It was a lot of basketball, so I had to take a little time off, but and then ramp myself back up slowly. So, last year, that was the most time I ever had away from the game ever. So it was a lot easier to work out that many times. I think this year was still working very hard, but working smarter, not harder, just trying to work and give my body time to recover.
In working smarter, just describe that to me. Even now that you're a veteran, what have you kind of learned to be able to work smarter?
Just, first of all, knowing exactly what you need to work on, and then I think what I did was I made because the toll that my body took on the season and Team Canada, I made my workouts a little shorter, like 15 minutes shorter, but still had the same intensity, still got everything done. Just, cut it a little shorter, but, the process, it was good. Still got good work out of it.
RJ, why do you
think the team still is a little overlooked. I mean, even in the category of best defensive team, you guys weren't even in the top four. I mean, you guys were great last year.
Yeah.
How do you explain what's going on?
I don't know. I don't know. I agree with you. It makes no sense. First of all, a Tibbs coach team is automatically going to be a good defensive team, and then you have Nerls and Mitch on the team. Like, we're going to be good defensively, so we're not worried about that.
The survey, do you guys, someone show it to you? Do you guys see the link on Twitter? Like, how do you see? I didn't know what they're on Twitter was asking.
I didn't know which one you were talking about. There's so many. We, whether it's me personally or us as a team, we just get disrespected all the time. So, like I said, it doesn't matter. We just do just like we did last year. Just go out, show, and prove.
Were you? I mean, like you said, you were motivated last year when you weren't on all rookies. I mean, does this stuff, looking at this stuff, does that drive you? Does that rise you up?
First of all, I'm still motivated from that. That's never gonna change. Like, every time I get on the court, I gotta show, I gotta prove, I gotta show everybody who I am, what I can do, and why everyone's wrong about me.
Would you want it any other way, though?
Nah, being an underdog's fun. Being an underdog's fun. I think it makes winning better. It makes everything better just because, it's not just the fact that you won. It's, all the obstacles that you got to go through, too.
All right. Thanks, RJ.
That's R.J. Barrett, ladies and gentlemen. It's R.J. Barrett. We had some discussions about R.J. a couple weeks ago and whether or not he was going to be, where does he fit within the team? Second, third, fourth option. A lot of us said, right now, at that point, we said fourth option. Last night, I have to be honest with you, I didn't see a first option last night.
Except Taj Gibson.
Right. I didn't see a first option last night. It was the ball moved, and wherever the shot came naturally is who took it. You know what I'm saying? Steph, any thoughts? Did you see the same things? I think you got to unmute yourself, Steph.
I was saying I agree with you, Sam. I saw the same thing. Whoever gets the ball and they open, and it's a good shot, is going to take it. So, we did say that there would probably be different scorers each night, but I think we're seeing that that's actually going to be a fact. Like, it's just going to be different leading scorers every night. I think we're going to have maybe 6, 7 players in double figures or close to it. And RJ may be the second leading scorer, but like you said, you're not going to be able to tell by looking at a particular game like last year. You can look at the game and be like, okay, this guy's the leading scorer. He's taking all the shots.
Right.
I think it's going to be different this year, and I think that's going to bode well for us.
Yeah, I think so too. I agree. Andy, any thoughts there?
Listen, I totally agree with you guys. And I think at this point, even before the season, they are so mentally prepared that this is going to be a whole team, scoring thing, that they're not thinking like, listen, okay, Julius was the last game he scored the most, so we got to give him the ball so he can, maintain that average or whatever. They're going to do everything that, Tibbs wants them to do. He prepared them to do everything as a team. So it's team first mentality, and that's why I feel that is how it's supposed to be. Some night, some dude's gonna be on fire, so they're gonna feed him. But I don't think it has to be like before the game even starts. They're gonna plan like this, and okay, last night Julius had a bad night. Let's try to get him going, and till he catches fire, we're gonna pass him the ball, right? So I'm pretty sure that it's gonna be like team first every night, unless it at like half of the season, it's gonna be like a clear cut leading scorer, clear cut second scoring guy, and stuff like that. But that has to have like 30, 40 games to be determined.
Yeah. Evergreen, what do you think? I seen you putting up.
Man,
putting
I
up
wouldn't be
a
surprised.
number 2.
Yeah, I mean, I would say he was at least the number 2 last night, just because the way Taj Gibson played, like Taj Gibson's buckets came all from like quick dimes. It wasn't like he was creating his own shot and doing a bunch of spin moves to the paint or anything like that. But like most of the stuff is like RJ was, he played within the system of the game, but you can tell that they were running things. But honestly, with how deep this team is, I wouldn't be surprised if you see 8 guys average more than double digits on this team this season. And I'm not trying to say everybody's going to be averaging over 20. I'm talking about if say Julius Randle takes a step back and he goes to like maybe 20 points a game, 21 points a game, but that increases everybody else's points per game. Like I could really see with all the players that we have and the strides that it looks like Obi's taking and what we know Quickly can already do. I can definitely see us having 8 players on this team average double digits. If you look at the spread last season, we weren't sitting like that. We weren't sitting like that at all. So I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe I'm too optimistic, guys. I don't know. But I wouldn't be surprised, y'all. Maybe I sound crazy though. Whatever.
Okay. I mean, I could see there being multiple players, a lot of guys averaging in double digits this season, especially if we're going to score the basketball at a high clip. If we're going to average 125 points per game, then yeah, there's going to be multiple guys that average in double digits. And Julius Randle last night, he had 20 points. He played 29 minutes. He had 20 points. He shot 50% from the field. He only took 14 attempts. During the regular season, that's going to change a little bit. He'll take more attempts, but it's the type of attempts, I think. Last year, he had the ball in his hands 80% of the time, and he may not have always taken a shot, but he had the ball in his hands. Everything ran through him. It's not happening like that this year, which is going to be good for him. He's not going to be as tired down the stretch. And now in the fourth quarter, when you really need him to go get you a bucket, he'll be fresh. He'll have fresh legs. So yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait, man. I really can't wait. Something I want to do, and then we're gonna get back into. I want to play this, and then we're gonna get back in. I want to ask you guys what was your play of the game last night. But you guys know Jay Boogie, right? Pretty sure everybody does. Jay Boogie. He's got a single out called Podcast. You know what I mean? And it's pretty dope. So I want to play that really quick. All right. So this is
dope,
Jay
guys.
Boogie.
It's dope.
Name of the song is Podcast. And then we'll get back in. I want to talk about what your play of the game was. So right here, ladies and gentlemen, let's check it out. Jay Boogie, Podcast. Let's get it.
Let's get it. Y'all be spitting with your flows, I'm just podcasting.
That's right.
On the air every day, I'm just podcasting. You don't know what that mean when I say I'm podcasting. I'm broadcasting these flows with the podcasting. Every day of my life, I'm just podcasting.
Right.
Share my dreams with you, mean I'm podcasting.
What?
You can see my vision through the podcasting.
Yeah.
But don't forget Jay Boogie
Okay.
when I'm broadcasting.
What?
I'm podcasting,
What?
he podcasting.
What?
I've been spitting this venom since Karate Flicks. When Mr. Sims was sharing nothing but the Knicks. I guess you know by now, I seen some tough years. Now I know the reason why Freezy got them blowing tears. Closest thing to the Reverend means I'm the deacon. Call up G-Mo just so he can talk the Legion. I'm squeezing, get my young ones to overstand. Some more advice, Ron Cleveland, Mr. Man. I guess y'all know I'm just podcasting, right? Y'all be spitting with your flows, I'm just podcasting.
That's right.
On the air every day, I'm just podcasting.
What?
You don't know what that mean when I say I'm podcasting. I'm broadcasting these flows with the podcasting. Every day of my life, I'm just podcasting.
Right.
Share my dreams with you, mean I'm podcasting.
What?
You can see my vision through the podcasting.
Yeah.
But don't forget Jay Boogie
Okay.
when I'm broadcasting.
What?
I'm podcasting,
What?
he podcasting.
What?
I know some haters and doubters, they wanna take the shine. Call up JL, he said, do it in a nick of time. I feel you young when the car drive, they wanna ride. If you ain't Keys, we don't share the same sports vibe. We different, in other words, we ain't alike. But young head, Hadouken, he a Knick at night. No sleeping, we YouTubing through the daylight. That's what it is when you live inside that Knick life. That Knick life, that Knick life. Y'all be spitting with your flows, I'm just podcasting. That's right. On the air every day, I'm just podcasting. What? You don't know what that mean when I say I'm podcasting. I'm broadcasting these flows with the podcasting. Every day of my life, I'm just podcasting. Right. Share my dreams with you, mean I'm podcasting. What? You can see my vision through the podcasting. Yeah. But don't forget J Boogie when I'm broadcasting. What? I'm podcasting, he podcasting. What? My man CP said let's Knick fan the TV. From the podcast back to the MSG, the network, we breaking news here every day. Run the intro, that's CK, the 2K, the bills paid. Stephen Fox, he got a dog walk. We'll tell JD we need that new sport talk. I don't care about the Sixers if they falling off. I'm at the rim left-handed like John Starks. John Starks, what? John Starks. Shout out to all the podcasters doing their thing. If you listen and represent a podcast, hit the like button and smash them up. You know what I'm saying? They working hard for you and everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the First Lady, Miss Stephanie. Shout out to Ian Begley. Shout out to J Mac. Shout out to my man Tone Wu. Shout out to my man for the love of the game. And shout out for the pause and radio. And a special shout out to my man Entertainer. You know what I'm saying? Rocking them New York Giants. It is football season. I can't forget him, man. Peace, love, and happiness to everybody. Protect yourself, love yourself, you know what I'm saying? 3 capital S's, salute, 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 man. Peace.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was J Boogie. The name of the song is Podcasting. That's a dope joint right there. Impressive, right? That's J Boogie. We're gonna get J Boogie on for a little. Not today. At some point, we're gonna get J Boogie on and talk about the joint right there. You know what I'm saying? Because if that song really does represent all these people that are in the chat right now, everybody that's in the chat, because we see a lot of the same people coming from podcast to podcast to podcast. You know what I mean? And that's just dope, man. Super dope. Yeah. Big shout out to J Boogie, man. Big shout out to J Boogie. Before I get out of here, I do want to find out, what is your play of the game, Andy? What was your play of the game last night?
I was thinking so hard, when J Boogie was on. Listen, maybe it would be the Obi topping steal and driving through the whole court. No, I was surprised that he went, through the whole court after that rebound. And he scored a point. I was happy about seeing that.
Okay. Steph, what about you?
Yeah, I think you just changed my mind, Andy. It would probably be that one-on-one move that Obi did, mid-post extended on the right side. He showed a lot of skill, a lot of dribbling, a lot of foot speed and balance, something that we questioned, right? His footwork. So I would probably say, yeah. Obi was impressive,
I was torn, Steph. I was torn between those two plays.
Yeah.
You said you were torn between
those two plays.
Those two plays. Yeah, that was that play by Obi. That definitely showed a lot.
Yeah,
that was textbook, almost Hakeem Olajuwon things. Yeah. That was I was never. If he didn't do that the whole season, I was like, cool. He maybe he needs more practice to do it. Meanwhile, he just did it like there was no defender out there. He was like in practice. So
he showed a lot during that play. And when you watch his a lot of his workout videos, right? That's he was working on those things during the workout videos.
Yeah, but it was him. He was working on those videos like in a certain segment, like in shorter moves, right? Meanwhile, he compiled like a whole
a
situation
series.
Here. I was
he compiled a nice series, put together, 2-3 different moves and I'm showing it on the screen right now. You see him, boom, crossover, spin. I mean, and the footwork on
That's
that
it.
play is just beautiful because that's something that I've always said. I worry about his footwork. I don't know about his footwork, but you see it here. That was boom, nice spin, lay it up. I mean, he goes right, back left, spin, boom. It was just a beautiful play. You know what I mean? Just a beautiful play. That was my play of the game. That was my play of the game last night, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
There might be some hope for the 3 position. I don't know.
I don't know if he can defend it.
Yeah, that's true.
Can he defend it? That's the problem for me. Can he defend
Right.
that 3 position?
Right.
But man, if he keeps doing some things like that, I'm trying to tell you, man. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah. Now we're talking.
Now we're talking because
Right.
now that second unit really becomes lethal because not only
Right.
of course you got Quickly and Rose and Alec Burks, but then you got Obi, and Obi really made his presence felt in that second unit last night from the transition buckets to that move right there, and when he's really knocking down that 3 consistently, man,
Yeah.
that's going to be something. I want to find out from Evergreen what his play of the game was last night. Evergreen, what was your play of the game last night?
Has to become.
What y'all just finished talking about was the Obi play. It definitely was. The one thing that I wanted to see last night, or just the way this is going to be predicted in my head is I still believe that Obi Toppin is the most important player on the team for multiple reasons. Most important reason being that Julius Randle needs a break, right? We mentioned this before. He gets time on the bench. He needs a break. He can really put all of his efforts and time he would have been giving us 36, 37 minutes. He can take that effort and put it into 30 minutes. But in order for him to do that, he needs his sub has got to produce. And with that play alone, it gives me high hopes to say that Tom Thibodeau will be comfortable with leaving Obi Toppin on the floor. If he's going to come out and he's going to show us flashes and do things like that, there's no reason that Tom Thibodeau should not be leaving that guy on the floor for at least just his offensive efforts alone.
Yeah.
So that play kind of solidified it for me. Like I had a theory in the back of my head. Hold on to it. Let's see what happens. And then Obi does that after never doing anything like that throughout the entire last season. There's a bright star in the air, and that color is orange and blue, and that's shining right there for Obi Toppin. He might be, like I said, the most important player on this team, in my opinion, is Obi Toppin.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna find out. Ladies and gentlemen, that's kind of it for today. I don't know if anybody has any last words before we get up out of here. What's today? Wednesday. I don't know. If I'm going to do anything tomorrow. I'll probably try to find something to do tomorrow. Definitely be on Saturday for the pregame show, and then I will be at the game on Saturday. So we'll figure out how we can do the postgame show and everything. But just stay tuned. I got some little short videos that I'm going to be putting out for you guys to check out. So make sure you stay tuned for that, ladies and gentlemen. And Andy, anything you want to end us with?
No, happy to be on with you guys again, and it was a pleasure as always.
All right, appreciate it. Evergreen, anything?
Knicks winning the chip.
Awesome show, Sam. I don't know if you're gonna break down some defensive clips like you did the offense with those the defensive musts. I think that would be great.
Yeah.
If not from this past game, a upcoming game, just to see how we're doing in that regard as well. But a great show as always.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you out there. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please make sure you subscribe to the channel right now. Ring that notification bell. I know I didn't get to any phone calls today, but I had to kind of keep this concise. Got some other things coming up that I got to get to, so I apologize about that. But if I'm on tomorrow, which I most likely will be, we'll definitely make sure we get some phone calls in. Big shout out to Jay Boogie on the dope track.
Definitely.
Shout out to all of you for being here. And as usual, ladies and gentlemen, spread love. We out of here. Peace.
And BK, nothing but Knicks. When send past the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Knick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.